is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going. What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. We're going to talk about the San Antonio Spurs, a team that has been led by Timmy Duncan, Popovich, Parker, Ginobili, David Robinson, and so many players, even like Kawhi Leonard, who ended up winning the championship. And they even made the playoffs last year when so many people doubted them with DeMar DeRozan. But this is a new beginning for them as they're most likely going to go in a different direction. We don't know if they're going to bring back DeMar DeRozan. We don't know if he's going to opt out. We don't even know if they can get something for him if he doesn't. But what we do know is DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge as a duo just isn't enough anymore in the NBA. As they both are getting older. Both are what they are at this point. And even though DeMar DeRozan played some of his best basketball of his career the last couple of weeks before the season got suspended, it wasn't enough to help them win games and get them closer to making it to the playoffs. It might be sad, but if the season is done, this will be the first time in over 20 years that the San Antonio Spurs will finally miss the playoffs. We knew that it was going to come. We never knew when it was going to come. But now it is reality and it's the present today. But just because they fell from grace don't mean they can't get back. And this draft may not be the most strongest or the most powerful, and it may not change their fortune. But one thing I can say about the Spurs is I like their future a lot more than a lot of other people. DeJounte Murray is coming off an ACL injury, and he still had his best season of his career offensively. His defense slipped a little bit, but that's expected. But I think with him, Lonnie Walker, and a lot of other guys, they can finally figure out a way to build this roster back up to being a playoff team. The problem that I really have with the Spurs, and it's not to disrespect them, is the toughest part is getting back to that championship level, which they haven't been for years. That's the thing that they're going to struggle with getting to the most. Is one thing making the playoffs, is another thing being a contender, and is another thing being an NBA champion. And when I look at this roster, I don't see that no time soon. But then again, that's why you make trades. That's why you make gambles. That's why you take risks. And that's why you have to play your cards right. One thing we do know about the Spurs is they do draft well, and they do have a great history of developing talent. The thing about it is, who is they going to build around? Will they go with the DeJounte Murray, Lonnie Walker? Will it be Derek White? Who is going to be Jakob Poeltl? Will he step up? Can he be a legitimate starter? We don't really know because these guys haven't shown that star of being an all-star. That they haven't showed that flash of being an all-star. They haven't showed that flash of being a potential superstar. They have shown that they play well collectively. They trust each other. They like playing with each other. And they're coached the right way. And they're in the right type of culture. But that's only one part of the puzzle. You still need talent. And you still need to find a way to get it. And the Spurs are in a situation where they don't have that superstar talent. They really don't have that closer because we don't know if they're going to keep DeMar DeRozan, and we don't know what's going to happen with LaMarcus Aldridge. But what we do know is the Spurs are not at that level anymore. Now we can talk about how to get back to there. I don't think this is the draft, especially because we don't know the draft lottery. So we don't know if the Spurs are going to get a higher pick, a lower pick, or the pick they should get. But what I do know is a lot of players in this draft may not fit the need of the Spurs. But as we do know about the Spurs, a lot of guys that they pick become better in the future. Now, if they still decide to keep with DeJounte Murray and a lot of these other guys, they show that they can be great, given the minutes, given the time to develop. But will they actually get them over the hump and become back championship contenders? That's the question that is the biggest elephant in the room for this team. But when I look at this draft, and I look at what the Spurs could pick, it is some great players that they can pick in this range. They can take a gamble on R.J. Hampton, a guy that we know can shoot the three. He can score the ball. Not the most explosive, not the greatest athlete, don't have the best size for his height, but he is and have shown that he can be a great player. You have Tyrese Maxey, who can be a great backup point guard, and you want somebody that is good, especially if you're picking this late and possibly after the lottery. You still want a quality player, and the Spurs have done well in this range before. They can even take a gamble on a guy like Tyrese Halliburton. You know what he is, you know what he brings to the table, and he should be available in that range. You also have guys that can fall down and they can be a steal for the San Antonio Spurs, and they can really make good on that, like a Killian Hayes, where we don't know if he's going to be a top 5 pick, a top 10 pick, just like R.J. Hampton. And he can be a good steal for them because at least you know he has that upside and he has the ability to create. But do they really need another guard when they have Derek White and Lonnie Walker ready to take the mantle after DeMar DeRozan leaves? Or will it be a Cole Anthony? A guy that can be a spark plug off the bench, give them some shooting, give them some spacing, give them somebody that can be aggressive? Or will they start with the veterans like the Patty Mills and just continue to ride with guys they know they can get the job done instead of trying to develop a guy that could be something special? And you also have guys that can really be tweeners, like Precious, that is a 6'9" guy that can play the small forward or the power forward. Will he be a guy that can play that position, give them the speed and athleticism that they don't have at that position right now? Because guys like Rudy Gay and LaMarcus Aldridge don't seem to be like they'll be around that long in the future. But they don't really have that position filled either when you look at their roster. So that could be a great pickup for them in that range. You look at an Obi Toppin, a guy that can really come in right now and be aggressive, but he don't have the upside of an all-star, which they're missing. But he also could be a guy that can be an aggressor and give them some type of floor space and then some type of different looks and give them versatility in their lineups. You look at other guys on this roster. You look at the Trey Lyles, who can be a spacer, who can give them length, but don't have the longevity probably to be a Spurs that long. The only problem with the Spurs is we don't know what they're going to do. We don't know what their identity is going to be. We don't know if LaMarcus and DeMar DeRozan and how long they're going to stay. But it's a lot of good pieces in this draft that can give them another piece to add to their other pieces. But that won't be enough in the Western Conference as teams like the Pelicans. And we're going to see the revitalization of a team like the Blazers getting healthier next season. Plus, you have the Dontages and the Mavericks. You have the Rockets. You have the Nuggets. You have the Clippers. You have the Warriors getting another top 10 pick plus Clay back healthy, Steph back healthy, Andrew Wiggins and them. It's going to get hard to make it to the playoffs in the West as a lot of the older and young teams are still at the peak of their powers are going to get a chance to have another season to crack back at getting to the playoffs. And even though the Spurs was left off this season, I don't really see a possible way for them to be back into that picture anytime soon, especially if they can't develop quickly. Now, the question that everybody want to know, should Greg Popovich stay and rebuild with the Spurs? He loves coaching. He loves his job. He's one of the greatest coaches ever. And if anything, they need a guy like Pop to instill that work ethic, to instill that culture, to show how hard work pays off and push these players to get their best potential out of them. And Popovich has done that every single season that he's been with the Spurs. And he is a good example of what you need at the top of the kingdom. You need a guy like Pop that wants the best out of you, that treats you like family, and really wants to find a way to utilize you the best way and get the best out of your talents, even if you may not be an all-star or a superstar. And he even has done that for Lonnie and DeJounte Murray, and he has found a way to get the best out of DeMar DeRozan these last 2 seasons, even though his role was different compared to Toronto. But they still utilize him in a good way. It's just he hasn't been a perfect fit. But they did make it to the playoffs last year and was very competitive against the Denver Nuggets, who were the higher seed. So I don't really have much to say to you Spurs fans, but it's going to be a long road. Y'all might not have no shortcuts right now available, but the goal is to get back. And they won't be doing that to me no time soon because they don't really have any players that I'm dying to trade for. And they don't really have enough to get that superstar, in my personal opinion, talent-wise and pick-wise, that persuade me to trade them to the Spurs. So y'all stuck. Y'all going to be bad possibly for years. But the Spurs fans have always been loyal. They already knew what losing was back in the early 80s and the early 80s and 70s. And as long as y'all got Pop, y'all got a chance to get back to the top. And even if he leaves, y'all still understand how to win, and y'all still have the right general manager and front office to to find a way to get back to the top. But what goes up must come down. The toughest part, like I said in the beginning of the video, is getting back to a champion. So this is going to be excellent for us to see and see how they find a way to get back to the top. We've seen how long they stayed at the top. We've seen how long they was able to reinvent and find a way to continue to win. That was amazing. That's historic. That's legendary. But now they got to find a way to get back there. And that's going to be the toughest part. But they also found a way to get out. Even if it's losing and getting a top 5 pick or getting a number 1 pick like they did with David Robinson and Duncan. That's still a good way. But they don't have those type of players on this roster right now. And they have to find a way to get one. And that's what we watching to see. Other than that, I'm Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis. I'm signing out. Like I said in the beginning of the video, if you want any merchandise, my spread shirt will be in the description below. Like on Facebook. My Facebook will be in the description. AnalysisPlayground.com. Thanks for everybody that liked. If you haven't liked, please like. Also, check out my website, AnalysisPlayground.com. Link will be in the description. Also, check that out. It's free. I'm going to have some content on there that differentiate from the content that I make on my YouTube in the future. So feel free to join that. And also, I make videos every single day about basketball. I do discussions. I talk about summer league, draft, free agency, playoff predictions. And I also do cover top 5 players and other things that's fun. I also break down players and rookies and real footage. So check out my channel. If you like what I do and you like this video, subscribe and become part of the family. Other than that, Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis, I'm gone. And let me know what you guys think the Spurs should do, how long it'll take, or will this be over for good? Should Popovich stay? Should he leave? And should he just do it for the love of coaching like he's been doing it the last couple of years, even though they kept going down and down and down, and now they hit rock bottom? But sometimes you fall. It's just how you get back up and how you change your mentality going into the next walk. And I think the Spurs can figure that out. We just got to see how it happens. Other than that, I'm gone.